people say like, oh, they're my other half, but I don't know if they're really like, that means that they were just like half of you then, and you weren't like full. I think that that's a bad, people say it harmlessly like that, oh, you're my other half, like they don't think that deep into it. But if you do think deep into it, you would be like, you want to be your whole own fruit. You're not half of an apple and then they come and bring the other half and then you're one whole apple. You want to be a whole apple and then they are another whole fruit, and then together you make a fruit bowl. You know, like you make something great and amazing together, but you're not like broken or missing something until that person comes in. Hi, we're here in my car because I spend a lot of time in my car, and I get really like sentimental and close to my cars, and I love to think in my car when I'm driving. Like I love to drive, I love to chit chat in my car, so I feel like it could only be fitting to talk here. Plus the lighting's good. I don't know, it kind of makes me feel relaxed because I'm also a real estate agent and I'm always driving around, so yeah, I feel like it's my natural habitat. So this is where we are today. And I was trying to think what was the main thing on my mind this week that I wanted to talk about. And I came to the subject of why we can lose ourselves in relationships sometimes. Friendships or romantic, or I guess familial relationships. Like why it's easy to lose parts of ourselves in other people. And if that is good or bad, like if it's only natural, you know, or to what extent does that become a bad thing? I feel like I've been thinking through that a lot because of therapy that I've been going to. It's been a topic that has come up, and yeah, it's been feels like a mountain to climb, like thinking through this question. And again, like I don't have the solution to it of this issue yet, but I figured we could kind of go through some things that I have considered, or some questions that I think might help me, prompt me to come to like some sort of conclusion eventually. So I put together some thought-provoking questions that maybe will also get you thinking, because maybe you have also found yourself like losing parts of yourself in different relationships in your life. And I think you don't always know kind of when that happens. I feel like eventually it just, you wake up and you're like, oh shit, like who am I without like all of these other people in my life? But it's interesting because we're also like, humans need other human interaction, and who truly are we if we don't have other people in our life, you know? Like I don't think it's also fair to say I have to know who I am and be a totally independent person without the influence of anyone else. Like I don't think that's natural. I think that you're also an environment of like where you come from and the people that you do choose to surround yourself with. And there's a fine line in like losing yourself completely and not knowing your own identity at all, but also I think you kind of pick up your identity from your environment and the people that you do choose to include in your life. So I feel like it can have a bad connotation, but I think it's also incredibly natural. For me, how I maybe have seen this play out in my life, I think a lot of it is with, I see it in my family. I'm very, very close with them. I have been all my life. And I was homeschooled, so I think that also contributed to it, that I grew up around my siblings like every day. And so like, I guess you could grow up to hate them if that was your life, but there were definitely times in our life that we did like not like each other, but as adults, we're like all super close. And with my parents, I see that like playing a part that I'm sure part of my identity came from having a really close relationship with my family. But in my adult life, I find it difficult sometimes to make decisions without feeling that all of them are on board. So I feel like I lose some type of autonomy in my decision making because I've been so close with them and I want them to be happy. But how do I also choose what's going to make me happy with my decisions without letting their opinions influence me too much, you know? And I'm sure someone has someone like that in their life, whether it's a friend or like a family member. Maybe it's not your siblings or your parents, but maybe an aunt, uncle, I don't know, your grandma, that someone close to you that you care about a lot can influence what decisions you end up making. With friends, I think in high school it is kind of easy to lose yourself a little bit in friendships and be like, oh, well, they're so cool, I want to be like them, and you kind of like start copying them. Or it can be the other way around. Like, you ever have that friend that's like, oh, your favorite color is pink, like that's my favorite. Or you say your favorite movie and they're like, oh yeah, that's my favorite too, and you're like, really? Like, what's your favorite part about it? And they can't say. You're like, you know that they're just like copying you for the sake of like trying to connect to you, and you're like, get off of me. Like, it's like suffocating. It's also like suffocating the other way around if you're doing that to someone else. And then you get into romantic relationships where it takes it to another level, where you're trying to maybe find your life partner, and this is someone that you're going to be incredibly close with all your life, but the whole reason that you're probably attracted to someone are the differences in them. So it doesn't really work out to be like, oh, my favorite color is that too, or like it's copying them. Like, that's icky and it's not cool, it's not fun. How else in relationships could you lose like yourself? I don't know, like integrating your life too much. You start to have the same friends, you start to go to all the same places, or start to have the same schedule. You kind of, it all becomes a blur of like their life, your life, and then your life together. It's all becomes like one big mush. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. I think it could be at different times in your life, like, okay, that it's all one experience. How would you say that? I imagine if a couple were to like move away, like all you're gonna have for a season is each other. Like, you're not gonna know anyone else in that place. You're probably gonna do like everything together. But I do think even if you have to go through that season, that it's important to probably branch out and start creating just your own beautiful life. Like, what is the analogy? A stool with 3 legs. Like, it needs to be their life, your life. Like, each of you have a beautiful life, and then the 3rd leg is in your life together. And without like having each one of those, like, it can come crumbling down because there's not enough support from all the areas, you know? Like, it needs both. That's a pretty good analogy, I think. Also the analogy that you're supposed to be like a whole fruit and not half of a fruit, because like people wait, I'm backing that up with to make sense of what I just said. People say like, oh, they're my other half, but I don't know if they're really like, that means that they were just like half of you then, and you weren't like full. I think that that's a bad, people say it harmlessly like that. Oh, you're my other half. Like, they don't think that deep into it. But if you do think deep into it, you would be like, you want to be your whole own fruit. You're not half of an apple, and then they come and bring the other half, and then you're one whole apple. You want to be a whole apple, and then they are another whole fruit, and then together you make a fruit bowl. You know, like, you make something great and amazing together, but you're not like broken or missing something until that person comes in. So yeah, it's kind of what's been going through my head. So I did make some points/questions that I wrote down thinking about this. So let's go through them and hash them out together. The first thing that I wrote down was that we can get so excited about the future with said person. I'm talking mainly about romantic relationships at this point, I guess. We get so excited about a possible future with this person that we can oftentimes forget to be excited just about what our own future is, not considering this person. Like, what would I want in life? What am I excited about the future if this person did not exist? And I know some people might say that's not really a fair question, because if you, I don't know, you start blending so many parts of your life, and that is exciting. But I really think it is important to still consider what just you are excited about. I think this is important in so many ways, not just for like the health of the relationship, but when kids enter the photo, if they do, and also just for your own joy and happiness. I think people think it's maybe sometimes selfish, or I don't think I have, but I've seen other people think like, oh, it would be selfish for me to be thinking about myself so much, or what I want for myself. I think about like my mom, how when she I can't talk. I think about my mom when she was raising us, and my dad was very busy, like starting his business, and was out doing that, being the provider, and she had 5 kids, and she, I think, just got ran thin with all the things that she needed to do, and she never really took, I don't think, time to kind of just refill her own cup in her own life, and like her own excitement for just her life, no one else's life, like your life. And I think that leaked into even some of the parenting. Like, I think everyone in your life benefits from when you are really happy and you're filling up your own cup and you're excited about your own things, because then you bring such a different energy to all the other aspects of your life when you are, I don't know, standing firm in you, when you are centered, and when you have a joy that's not reliant on how your kids are behaving, or how they are succeeding in their life, or how your partner is, or your friends, whatever. Being able to be grounded also makes you a very valuable person to those around you, to have that sense of self, I guess, sense of self, that you're able to then be a comforting and grounding person in other people's lives. I think another thing that can make you kind of start losing parts of yourself in relationships is starting to compromise on non-negotiables. I think another way you could say that is giving up pieces of yourself that brought you joy or made you kind of who you are, in order to maybe like fit in with them, and not holding true to what you did want, or who you were before you were in that relationship. And I think that one has been a bit difficult for me, because I kind of feel like you have to compromise to some extent to be in a relationship. Like, no one is perfect. You're gonna bring your own like baggage, your own bullshit, and if you want to be in a relationship, you need to be prepared to know that you do have, it's like a continual promise to like keep working on yourself. Otherwise, like, it can't work. And both of you guys are going to keep changing in life. Like, you don't, when you meet someone and maybe you decide to get married, you don't just push pause and it's like, oh, we're never going to change. Like, you guys are continually changing. So you will have to like compromise with each other, meet each other in the middle. So I don't know how you balance that with also being careful not to lose parts of you that are really valuable to you. I'm trying to think of an example. This is a bad example because it's like obvious, but let's say one of them loves to go out, okay? And they're not hoeing around or anything. They just love to go out. And one of them is like not okay with them going out like that so much, even if they're not doing anything bad. It like, I don't know, it triggers them, whatever. I mean, probably means that both of them need to work on like some trust or something. But anyways, they say like, if I'm gonna be with you, I need you to like cut back on this, or like, I don't want you to do this, period. And then that person has to decide, okay, what do I do here? Is this like part of my personality that I'm just an extrovert, and if I'm not allowed to go out, like, I'm not gonna be able to like let my personality out and like refill my cup. That's something that helps me refill my cup, going out with my friends, having fun, giggly gaga, like whatever. Or is that something that I can be like, okay, that's fine, I'll find that in another way, you know what I mean? And I think that you can kind of compromise too much to maybe where you start holding like a bitterness to that person. So yeah, that one is a little bit difficult, and I think it's important try to really have those clear conversations, and think through what you are willing to give up and what you aren't, and why. For me, I think that maybe something I've done kind of like this in past relationships. I'm trying to think of like a real example here for you guys. I have had a passion to like pursue modeling since I was kind of 18, and like maybe 17, 18 it started. And I had 2 relationships before the one I'm in right now, and no one ever was like supportive of me getting into modeling. Also, my family wasn't either. Some friends were, but I felt like kind of a lot of people in my life were, I don't know, just didn't get it and thought that I just wanted photos of myself. Like my mom was like, I'll pay for you to go get photos taken. I'm like, Mom, that is not it. That is side eye. So that kind of felt really bad. It just felt bad to have something that I wanted to do so bad and no one in my life being able to support me in that. I ended up persevering, and I got signed with my mother agency, and then I got signed with an agency in Mexico City as well. And then I went and did an on-stay there, and I modeled there for a few months, and I've done it like off and on, and that was like such a huge dream come true for me. And I just felt really happy that I at least persevered, and there were different times that I kind of would step back because I just felt so much pushback in my life, but that was something that was like a burning passion of mine, and I felt to give it up, like it gave up a big excitement that I had for like my dreams. Like, I don't know if someone has a passion for art or a burning passion inside them, whatever it is, to cook or to chase whatever dream. I felt like so many people in my life were taking away my ability to like dream and chase what was a burning passion inside of me, no matter how they perceived it, you know, like no one got it except me. And I think when you kind of have that many people around you kind of telling you one thing, that maybe you start to question it. Looking back on it, I wonder what I could have done different. I mean, of course, you could just be like, stand up and be like, yeah, I'm not gonna compromise on this, or I'm not gonna drop this for you. I don't know if that's it. But I think only naturally as you get older do you really start to kind of get a sense of self. Also, like, I don't know, like I started having that passion at focus 18. I was 18, you know, like I didn't know how to really process what was going on. I was like, are my parents right? Are these people right? Like, I think it's only natural also as you grow up. Cut yourself some slack, like your younger self some slack, and it's okay to come into an understanding of something with new experiences and everything. So maybe I don't have some like wisdom drop on that. Like now I'm learning. I would know what to do next. Just not to be a bitch about it, you know. You don't need to like give an ultimatum in a situation like that, but be like, this is something that I love to do. I know why I'm doing it. It's okay if you can't get on board with that, but this is part of me. Like, do you love me? Like, can you take me all I am or not? Like, I don't think that, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying, to be honest. Take that how you want. Yeah. I think I have to take off my sweater because it's getting too hot. It's actually freezing in Oklahoma. It keeps unfocusing. Golly. Sorry, you couldn't hear me. It's about to be freezing in Oklahoma with ice and snow. And it's actually pretty cold out right now. But for some reason, my car always gets toasty. Like, I think it's just the windows, the sun coming in. Anyways, we're a little bit better now. Let's see what we have next. You're oversharing your life with them and not keeping anything just for yourself anymore. Maybe I said something like this in the beginning. I think this is as simple as You love to go for walks. That's something you loved to do before you met said person, and now you never even take walks by yourself and you're always going with them, or they loved to do a different type of workout and you are always doing that workout now, so you guys can always be together. Or when you're single, you try new things by yourself, you try a new coffee shop by yourself, you get into pottery. I don't know, whatever you do when you're single. And then you just stop having your own experiences. Maybe when you get into a relationship and it's just fun to do everything with them. And I don't know, when you love someone, it's exciting to share experiences together, of course, like, obviously. But I think it's just as important to consciously still enjoy the things that you enjoyed to do before. And maybe you didn't know what you enjoyed doing before, and you just got out in a relationship out of necessity to like rely on someone else to like fill your emotional hole. I don't know. I don't think you need to just leave the relationship, but I think you need to start exploring what you can have fun doing by yourself. I think that makes both of your lives... God, I need to be in frame. I think that makes both of your lives a lot more beautiful, and what probably attracts you to each other in the first place is that person doing like the thing they love to do and you observing it, and you doing the thing you love to do and them observing you in like an element that they're unaware or is not familiar to them. It's really cool to see someone know and do something that you're not good at or that you don't know about, that is like interest of the unknown. It's what attracts partially you guys to each other in the first place. So to lose that also is like losing the chase of I don't know what I think life is worth, like new experiences. We're only here for such a short amount of time, and it should be so fun to experience so many things and try and figure out what you like in life and try new I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it's that fun chase of life yourself, and then you do get to share with that person, but also it's fun to see them experiencing it by themselves and you guys come together and experience some of it. I think it's a good balance. Like if they're doing their thing and you're like, oh my gosh, so fun, and you're involved and you can, contribute and be involved, but it's their thing, and then you also are doing your thing and they get to observe you thriving and having a vibrant, beautiful life, and then you guys get to come together and also do it together. But I think it makes this cool chemistry, like these atoms bouncing off of each other instead of just a stagnant like experience with you not blooming yourself. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. I definitely feel when I'm doing things that I love, I'm being creative and I'm filling my cup, I feel like more beautiful and vibrant, and like I have this energy that's mixed up and moving and exciting that I then can bring to my other relationships, and I'm not coming into the relationship like needing something. It's also not bad to need like certain things from a relationship, but it's not a constant state of need. You know what I'm saying. The last point I made is also something I kind of said in the beginning, which is if you removed said person, friendship, family member, romantic relationship from your life that you feel like you're kind of losing yourself in, remove object of conflict, what would your life be? Would you be like totally desolate and like, I don't know what my life would be? Like I haven't even thought about what life would be with, I don't know. Like you've based they're your foundation. You've built everything on top of it. So if you pull it out, like it all comes crumbling down, right? Or, you know, it's natural to be sad if someone were to leave your life, but you'd be like, this is still what I would probably do. Like, you have some sort of direction. I think that I have experienced both of those feelings in my life. I think when I was younger, just, you can get so excited about things that are not promised, or you can get so excited about dreaming and love that you don't put any reality around it. I don't know if it's reality's thing. You just like let your mind roam and you don't consider anything else. And again, I think that's just part of being young. I was actually engaged when I was younger, like young, 19. And I think when that happened and the engagement ended, I felt like my world came crumbling down, and the plans were so intertwined, and it wasn't like, oh, this is what I want to do and it's what I would do anyways. It was like, no, everything was like leaning on some support, like how, like a structure, and you'd like the freaking chair that I was saying, the stool, the three-legged stool, and then you took that element away and it, well, that's not really analogy failed. The analogy I was giving earlier was something different. But if we're going to make this analogy to your life, how to make it? Like okay, apple analogy. That's what I need. You're not a whole half an apple and they make a whole apple. It's that you're an apple and they're another fruit. So you're already a whole apple. But I think in that season of my life, I felt like half an apple, and then I needed someone else to make me a whole apple. And so when the other half left, I was like, I'm just half an apple. Like, I'm not even full. Like, what am I? Am I even an apple? Instead of just being like, I'm an apple still, you know, but like the fruit left. So, but like, you know, like it's not like you're broken now. I'm sure there's another analogy that's better for this, but I can't find it. Please try to understand what I'm saying. So, where was I? Yeah. When that happened, I had to reevaluate everything. Now, I feel in my life, I have a much better grasp on people being a addition to my life, a beautiful thing, but that my existence is not like reliant on them, or that they have to be in my life for me to exist, you know? I just don't think that does anyone good. I think that you need to work on that. You need to really think through like what just you, like the world is your oyster. What is just you dream for? And if there were any possibilities, like there's nothing holding you back. Like, what is it? What do you want your life to be with not a person? Because there's no guarantees, you know? Like, I rebuke this, but there's a chance that maybe me or whoever may not get married. Like, whoever, meaning person watching this. Again, rebuke. I'm not saying that happens, you know? But there's no promises. Also, you could get married and then said person could pass away. Or if all you've ever wanted to be is a mother, maybe some people face infertility. Like, there's just never a for sure. I think it is not bad to dream and have those dreams that I would love to be a mother, and then you face that trial when it comes. But I think it is important to not base your happiness and existence on like one person or thing, you know, because life in you is so much more than one experience. I'm getting very deep into this now, and I'm currently like thinking through everything like this, or thinking through this myself. But yeah, I think I look at life and I am starting just to appreciate the everyday that you do get. And man, it's like crazy. I just watched this TikTok. I love TikTok. Haters can hate. I love TikTok. I watched the news TikTok, and they were saying that we are sending astronauts to the moon again. And I double checked that, and it is true. I forget what the mission's called, Armistice or something like that. I don't know if they're landing on the moon, but they're like gonna do a circle around it, and it's so badass. Like, there's 4 of them. There's like a girl and 3 guys, and it's just so cool. And I was just comprehending how humanity, it's so cool. We're like going and exploring the outer realms, like a movie, you know, like Star Wars. And humans are just curious, and they could die on that mission. Maybe probably some of them have families, and it's just what life is about, the like adventure, chasing, figuring out this world. And we're all here for such a short amount of time, and it's so scary but so beautiful. But they're going anyways with everything they know that could happen, because there's like, I don't know, it's like such a grand adventure. And that just made me feel a deep appreciation to be alive, and that there's so much to life, and there's so many planets out there, there's so many stars, maybe there's other life, and then we're all here so focused on our own life, and like depressed if something bad happens, or if we get broken up with, or if we have friendship drama. And it's just like, we're a freaking planet and going around and around, and we're all so focused on our own lives. I don't know, it's just kind of crazy, you know, like, just to get your eyes off of yourself for a little bit. Say hi to the person next to you in the coffee shop. Like, the world's not gonna come crashing down. Like, there's so many things to live for. And I look at the people that have had really horrible things happen, like their whole family's passed away, and one of them still living, like in a car crash, you know, like they get in a car crash and only one of them lives. And some of those people find the will to live, and find a will to find a joyful life to live. And that's incredible. It shows the resilience of humans. And some people are just going around the world exploring, climbing every freaking mountain they can find. And it's just like, there's so much to life, to just place all of your own worth on one or a few people, and to lose yourself for, I don't know. This is what I've been thinking through. I hope it kind of makes sense to you guys. This is, again, just my thought dump corner of YouTube. And maybe no one's ever going to find my channel. And maybe I will just watch this back when I am 60 and be like, I don't know, I'll look in hindsight to myself and probably be emotional and be like, girl, you don't even know what's going to happen. But I will look back and want her to have taken like every chance and every adventure, and have stories, and like suck the life out of life. That's what I will have wanted. And I'm sure I will also probably have a beautiful family, but I don't know, even if I didn't, that I would want to explore and live this life full, you know? So I think that's my homework for me, is just, what in life have I always been wanting, but I haven't gone after it yet because of a fear or a hesitation, or I don't know, whatever. But I'm just waiting. But waiting for what? I just want to make the vibrant life that I dream of, and I want to make it now. I don't want to wait for I don't know. I don't want to wait too long to go after what I want from my life, you know, and take those chances. Do it scared, do it broke. I don't know. Some people really do be saving up for one-way tickets and just figuring it out once they get there. Anyways, I think that's it for today. I hope it made sense. See you next time. Bye bye.